Real quick poll, show of hands down in the comments section. How many people in my audience have heard of something called the law of unintended consequences? How many of you are living through the consequences that were never intended by decisions you made long ago? Sometimes you can fix them, and sometimes you can't. This quote from M.R. Carey, well, there's something called the law of unintended consequences. I don't think it's really a law, but people do a lot of things that have great intentions and seem smart at the time, but then they turn out in the long run to be terrible, terrible mistakes. Now, I'm sure everybody out there has a story. We all do. I for sure do. I've got lots of them. But this is the reality. Sometimes secular folks and philosophers and scientists end up proving the Bible correct. Proverbs 14 and 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. The great economist Milton Friedman said, one of the great mistakes is to judge policies and programs by their intentions rather than their results. Now, there's a lot of people out there talking about how great it is that the U.S. government is going and smashing in doors and invading people's homes to try to root out the illegal invader. Because it sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds a little bit too simplistic, doesn't it? You see, there's going to be a long-term consequence to this that some people are seeing it. Some people are seeing it going, hey, wait, you know what? We're giving the government a lot of power here that even if this solves a temporary problem right now, it might cause all sorts of much worse problems later on. When have you ever not known that to be the case with Washington, D.C.? When you give them power to do a certain thing at a certain time, like, for example, payroll tax withholding, and they say, oh, well, we're just going to do it during this emergency, and we need it now, but then we'll sunset it. Never happened, did it? That's what they did back in World War II when they needed money. You see, we're giving a huge amount of power to the federal government right now, and long after Trump's gone, long after Trump is perhaps even in his grave, he's an old man, 10 years from now, 12 years from now, they're going to remember these days when the people gave pretty much unfettered power to go force themselves into people's homes. Because there were illegal people out there. Guess what? There's lots of ways you and I, even though we were born here in America, we could be classified as illegal people. All sorts of things you can do to be classified as illegal other than just not be born here. And you might have to live in a hole with a lantern in the future because of decisions made now. We do a full 20-plus minute breakdown on this over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel. Love to have you over there. I know I talk about it. It is an unfortunate circumstance that I have had to kind of bump up the base level. It used to be only a single $1 a month, and I have been getting emails and all sorts of communications from Patreon that can't be sustainable, and most of the channels acquiesced and raised their prices all the way back in 2022. I held on for another 2 years as long as I could, but I've had to take the base level of the Patreon channel from $1 to $2 a month. So once again, make whatever decision you have to, pray on it, but would love to have you over there. Lots of content, never before seen on YouTube. The other 3 levels we have over there, the 5, 10, and 15, they haven't moved. They haven't moved, but the base level did move from 1 a month to 2 a month. So God bless all of you who have stuck around and supported me. I very, very much appreciate it. Like I said, brand spanking new video over there. Brand new. Just put up, it was actually 2 a.m. this morning, put that thing up. And it's a full breakdown of how you, very shortly, after this thing is taken care of, that there's going to be Americans, people who are born here, who are going to, by virtue of choices they've made, be also classified as illegal just for different reasons. Whether you like them here, whether you don't like them here, whether you think that the cost-benefit analysis doesn't work for you, they are here and they are part of the economy. And when you decide we are going to bring down the full weight of the federal government using the military and the ICE and everything else to remove them from the economy, and that's what you're doing. We've heard all sorts of everybody talk about, they're sending remittances. They're also spending money here, earning and spending money here. And when you take millions and millions and millions of people and delete them from the economy, and on top of that start trade wars with our biggest trading partners, China, Canada, Mexico, there's going to be pain, folks. There's going to be pain that when you weigh it out in the balance, some people will be like, wait a minute, hold on. My 401k, my retirement has a lot of real estate in it, a lot of real estate investment in it, and home prices, real estate prices are going to crater. Because there's going to be what? A lot of empty places. You're taking people that were living there. They're no longer living there. They're no longer earning any money. They're no longer paying anybody rent. It's a big empty place. And the more empty houses there are out there versus those that are, occupied, that's what determines how much real estate's worth. Down here in Florida, when everybody came here 2020, 2021, because there were so few, home prices went through the roof. Now they are going to bounce right back down again. And some people are like, well, that sounds great because then I could get a home for cheap. Not when wages go down. Not when wages go down right along with it. And that's not going to affect taxes as well. You're going to see a huge rise in this. Mark my words. We've also talked about that at the Patreon channel in a context that really kind of makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but somebody needs to step up and talk about it. Florida Monkey, why do you talk about that issue with that one website where the girls do the things and people send them the money? Because nobody else will. Everybody else is too cowardly to bring up the subject and talk about it. Not here at the Florida Monkey channel. We're going to talk about reality. Here's this guy. There's supposed to be a strike tomorrow, apparently, where in a kind of a pushback towards the whole deportation thing. This guy talks about that he gets paid $600 cash on Fridays from his boss for working. And he usually goes out and, does what a lot of young guys do. They blow through most of it first weekend. And they work and then they blow their paycheck at the end of the weekend again. But he said, you know what? I'm not gonna this time. And this guy here on X has over 1 million followers. If he can get 10% of his 1 million followers, 100,000 people, to not go spend their $600. What's 100,000 times? Yeah, $60 million bucks. Just from this one guy. $60 million daily hit. Oh, everybody's so worried about the price of eggs. Do you know why, number one, they don't refrigerate eggs in Mexico, and number two, they're only $2 a dozen, $1.89 a dozen, $1.84 a dozen? Well, number one, because they don't have to refrigerate them. They don't have that cost. Why? Because they don't wash their eggs down there. Most eggs are, they have a protective coating on them that keeps them fresh for a long time. But here in America, all eggs to be put on the shelf have to be washed because of the fears of salmonella, that people won't go wash them at home. So, just saying. Egg prices in Mexico, $2. What does that mean? That means if you throw tariffs on Mexican on products down there, you're not going to even bring them up to what Americans are already paying. They're sitting pretty. Because things are so much less expensive down there. And I have another question too. This is James Woods. There are apparently some Latino folks that were blocking an intersection. And they were doing this little line dance and protest and whatever. If these people aren't real people, they aren't legal people, they don't have rights, do they? According to you, according to everybody who's so pro-Trump and thinks this is a fantastic idea, since they're not legal people and have zero rights, right? Because nobody has rights unless they live in America and live under our Constitution. Zero people have rights. Only citizens have rights. Why didn't the cars just plow through them? Why didn't the cars just plow right through them? They're not legal people, right? They have no rights, right? So just plow right through them. Why didn't people do that? I remember when I first saw this cartoon, I thought this is the best way to describe America right now. Remember the story of the three little pigs? And the one pig finally had built his house of bricks, and the wolf couldn't get in. And the other two little pigs are living with him now, and he's created a bunker. And he's wearing camo, and he's got a little radio, and he's wearing military boots. And the one pig's like, this isn't just about the wolf anymore, is it? See, 20 years ago, if I had said that conservatives were going to be all for the feds having the power, completely unencumbered power to just go take their giant door smashers and smash in any door they feel like, just because somebody said somebody might have somebody there that could possibly not have proper papers, as opposed to, oh wait, isn't there a constitutional amendment to be secure in one's? Never mind. I guess that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what Trump wants, because that's the new standard of right and wrong. So when you're forced, against your will, to go find some quiet swamp somewhere and go live out in the bugs with no heat, no air conditioning, no connectivity, eating only what you can forage. Maybe you could hang a MAGA flag off your little porch here. A lot of people look at this and they think, gosh, that looks great. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, go try and live in a swamp. Go try and live in a swamp with no electricity. See how long that lasts. But it looks so cozy. Yeah, you see, two-dimensional images can be deceiving. Go try and live in some swamp somewhere out in the middle of nowhere with no AC, no heat, no running water. Just saying. Sometimes when you look at a picture like, wow, that looks great. That looks fantastic. The first thing I think of, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man to his eyes, lust of the eye, lust of the flesh, pride of life. But the ends thereof are the ways of death. Proverbs 14:12, law of unintended consequences. Make no mistake, this is one. This is a huge mistake. Am I saying we should do nothing about what's going on? No. But I think there's a lot better ways to go about it than what's being done right now. But Florida Monkey, the last administration didn't do nothing, and we only have two choices, the last one and this one. You see, black or white thinking. A or B thinking. Psychological dysphorias, as if there aren't third and fourth and fifth options. We had them. We gave them up. And right now, we are judging policies in this country based on their intentions. And the Democrats do this too. Policies and programs based on their intentions, the whole DEI, inclusiveness, and everybody's got rights and all this, bad policies, good intentions, bad policies, rather than their results. So as bad as the results of the Biden administration are, when has DC, when given this level of power, ever solved anything for the people? When? Never. So, just saying. I don't think it's even going to be as cozy as this for some. But once again, love to have you. God bless all of you who have stuck with us over at the Patreon channel. I very much appreciate it. I didn't want to have to raise that base level up one, but I didn't really have a choice. At this point, it was something that I was being encouraged to do and pushed to do by the actual platform itself because of all the different fees and things associated way back in 2021, 2022. And I refused to do it. But 2025 now, I finally had to relent. And like I said, there's 4 levels over there now. It used to be 1, 5, 10, and 15. Now it's 2, 5, 10, and 15. So I will leave it there. A lot of channels out there that are a lot higher. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time.